Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nazima and this is the first episode of my How to Stop series. And in this episode, we are going to talk about how to stop your inner critic because it just doesn't give you space or a chance to live peacefully. So let's talk about it. Okay, first of all, let's understand what is inner critic. So it's basically a voice that's coming out of your subconscious mind, not giving you peacefully sit, enjoy the moment in the present, but constantly tells you to rush towards accomplishing some goals, towards some perfection, some idealization, right? But really, it's not even your own voice. This is the voice of people who always told you who to be, how to be, what to do, where to be, and so on and so forth. You get the point. So basically, the people who would constantly tell you that what is normal and what is not normal, how you should be and how you shouldn't be, and then when your subconscious mind started believing that you actually have to follow those standards, and whenever you don't follow them, you're like sitting anywhere and your subconscious mind hits you and tells you, okay, you need to stand up, you need to be the perfection, you need to accomplish all those goals, you need to do this and that, you can't just sit and relax. No, don't relax, because you are not allowed to relax. You have to always hustle, do stuff, okay? This is literally not your voice. So what I'm trying to say basically is that your inner critic is shaped by the childhood experiences, okay? Just like any other stuff that's going on with you in your adulthood always comes from the experiences you have been through as a child. Okay, imagine a child was standing in front of you right now, like this little sweet kid, okay? And he would go on like, you know, when I grow up, I dream of becoming a pilot. I dream of flying and I dream of doing big things in life. I dream of visiting so many countries and so on and so forth. And he goes on telling you all the stuff that he's dreaming about, like, and then you're telling him, this is just so stupid to dream about this. This is so unrealistic. Like, you know, why do you even believe this is going to happen for you? Plus, you're so lazy and like, this is disgusting how you dream about this and so on. Like, would you tell that to the child standing in front of you and telling you about his dreams? No, right? That is exactly what you're doing to your own self. So basically, we all have an inner child and we all dream of big, huge things, right? And when I was a child, I would always dream about being a Disney actress and singer, okay? And well, basically every single person in my surroundings would always tell me that this is actually impossible, this isn't going to happen, this career is not for people with no connections in the industry and so on and so forth. To be honest, when I was like this little kid, I wouldn't understand a thing they said about this stuff, but like, you know, I had a dream, period. Like, when you dream about something as a kid, you just believe this is going to magically happen because you have never experienced failure, you have never experienced making huge mistakes, you have never experienced the brutality and cruelty of this whole world, right? And so you just believe that the world is a magical place and everything is just working out for everyone. And imagine an adult comes and ruins this all for you. Like, you didn't even ask them to provide you with the reason of why it's not going to happen, or you didn't ask them for their support. You're just saying that you dream of stuff. And you know, as a child, this is so heartbreaking to hear that from an actual adult that you look up to. And that is exactly how your inner critic is raised in you. It's literally a bully put in your body that is going to constantly in your adulthood tell you, oh, okay, your dreams are not valid, they will never happen. Come to your senses, you cannot open a business, you cannot create your own brand, you don't have enough money, you're not creative enough, you're not smart enough, you don't have the right education for that. Just come to your senses, get a 9 to 5, and so on and so forth. Or whenever you dream about a partner that you have high standards for and you still haven't found anyone, and you're basically in your late 20s and the society is constantly pressuring you to get married, and they're like, oh, who do you think you are? You think you're that special? You think you can get someone with those high standards? Just can you please not raise your standards like that, because you will just end up alone, and so on and so forth. Like, this is the last thing any person wants to hear. And that is exactly why when I started following my dream, my self-critic, like my inner voice, started yelling at me like, oh, come on, forget about it. This has worked out for other people, but this will never work out for you. So you just need to come to your senses, get a 9 to 5, and go work for somebody else. Go work for somebody to achieve their goals and not your goals, and so on and so forth. And I actually literally understand, I realize with my conscious mind that this is not my voice, that these are literally outside voices that are coming to my mind whenever I see other people my age going to work every single day, and they're like working, and whenever I go to LinkedIn and I see all my classmates from college getting raises, getting promotions, and so on and so forth, and I'm like, oh my god, I shouldn't have left my job, I should have stayed, I should have done this, I should have done that, I should have just followed what they're doing, that's where I would be right now. But really, I understand that this is not something that I want to do. Yeah, obviously I studied for that, but I've always been dreaming about having my own brand. I've always have been dreaming about having my own thing and being my own boss, and that's what I've been trying to work on for this last months. But whenever I see those kind of posts from my classmates and friends, I get so upset, and my inner critic starts yelling at me like, your dreams are just so unrealistic, they will never happen. What are you doing sitting here filming this video? Go to LinkedIn and apply for jobs, and so on and so forth. Like, this is so crazy, right? Because that is exactly, I think that this is exactly why most people don't follow their dreams, because since childhood they've been told all this horrible stuff, that their dreams aren't possible, that they're unrealistic, that this is just something that isn't ever going to happen for them. And you know what I've been realizing lately is that criticism is a disguise for fear. Like, this inner critic is actually scared that you might fail, that you might get rejected, that you might get embarrassed or shamed, and so on and so forth. Like, this is actually a form of protection. It's trying to protect you from failure and rejection and stuff like that, but really it does it in the worst way possible. And whenever you start realizing that, you start realizing that underneath criticism is actually fear, you need to start talking to yourself like a safe guide. You need to reassure yourself that everything is fine, that you're just overthinking, and then ask yourself, would you tell all those things that you are saying to yourself to that little kid standing in front of you? And if your answer is no, you have to start rewriting the script. You have to start rewriting how you talk to yourself. And that is exactly why I have prepared for you a PDF file on how to rewrite your inner critic in the description down below. Go ahead, check it out, and work. Look, I always say this, and this is so important. In your life, at whatever stage of life you are right now, it doesn't matter how bad or good you feel. This is so important, that you are your own best friend. You are your own supporter. You are your own biggest cheerleader, and you cheer for yourself every single day, no matter how hard you find your situation in life to be. Look, if you are right now at a stage when you don't like your life, you don't like where you've arrived at this point in your life, you are not allowed to talk to yourself badly. You are not allowed to say bad stuff about yourself to your own self. Listen, this is, I remember reading the quote where it was written, watch the words that you speak to yourself because you are listening. I don't remember where I read it, but it's really something for you to sit down and think about, because you are the only person that's listening to your own voice nonstop, 24/7. And whatever you say to yourself will actually come into your reality, will shape your reality no matter what. So whenever you know what? A lot of people think that when they say something, when they say something negative, it doesn't lead them anywhere, but actually it does. They believe that only their belief system leads them somewhere. But if I were to sit right here right now talking to you and I would say oh, you know what, I'm a failure and my life is just a failure, it's an embarrassment and so on. But really, I don't believe that, and this is just me being emotional at the moment, and then I will come to my senses. I will say, oh, forget what I said, right? But this is actually something that you will not forget, because you have already said those things about yourself to yourself, and you heard them. Okay, you heard yourself saying your life is a failure. So imagine how you would react to that. And then you're like, oh, okay, forget, never mind. Are you kidding me? Imagine your friend were to say that, or imagine you were to say that to your friend. They wouldn't talk to you anymore, trust me, and you would just beg for their forgiveness, because this is so cruel to say to someone, and you are actually finding it normal to say to yourself. You know what, guys, I always say that it doesn't matter what people don't believe in you, how many people say that whatever you're doing is just an embarrassment, it doesn't work out, and your dreams are nothing, and your standards for the life that you want is nothing, and so on and so forth, and they're super negative about this. I say that the only supporter you will ever need in your life is you. Period. You don't need any other person to support you, because see, imagine if you don't believe in yourself, you don't believe the goals you have for yourself are actually achievable, and you're okay, I'm not going to do anything because basically I don't believe this is going to work out for me. And then your parents come to you and they say, I believe in you, I believe that you will make it. And then your friends come and they say, oh, I believe that your goals are actually achievable, you just need to do this, that, and then you'll achieve them, right? But you don't believe that. You don't believe this will happen for you. You believe you're a failure. Would you achieve that goal? No, you wouldn't, because you don't believe that. And the only person that you need to believe that does not believe. Okay, I hope you got my point. And now imagine you are the person that believes in your goals, that believes in your dreams, that believes whatever you're doing is actually worth it. And then people come to you and they say, what are you doing? This is so embarrassing. Why are you doing this? You're wasting your time. You're going to fail, blah, blah, blah. But you believe it's going to happen. It will happen. This situation, in this scenario, this will happen, because the only person you ever have to believe in you is you. The only person you need to validate is you, okay? And that is why you have to realize where this self-criticism is coming from every time you hear your own self saying bad stuff to yourself. Also, you know why I always say that journaling helps you to get to know yourself better, and it actually helps you with your mental health and so on and so forth? Because basically, imagine journaling when you are self-criticizing yourself. And I were to ask you a direct question, like, where do you think this self-criticism is coming from? Like, or what would you do if what other people say or think about you didn't matter at all? What would you do? Like, you wouldn't care about what other people would say, what your parents would say, what other, like, your relatives would say, your friends, your teachers, whoever would say. It doesn't matter. It is zero, nothing. What would you do then? If I were to state the direct questions to you, you would actually answer them and realize that without this question, you didn't even realize where that emotions were coming from in the first place. This is something that is working all the time, and that is why I am always telling you to go grab a notebook and start journaling, writing down whatever thoughts you have. And you know what? There's this cool technique that works every single time, and it's called why. Like, I don't know, ask 7 times why, right? So basically, you're writing something. It's actually a technique for rewriting your subconscious limits and beliefs, I think. But this is also really helpful here in our situation too. Like, imagine you were to write in your notebook, no one is ever going to take me seriously. I'm so embarrassing. I'm so stupid. I'm not good enough, and so on and so forth. Write this all things down. And then ask yourself, why do you think this way? Okay, why? And then ask this question as many times as possible for you to come to the conclusion that those thoughts, that self-criticism is actually so pointless. And you know what else? It always happens to me so often that I write down my goals and I set them for myself, and then I start working towards those goals, and then I find myself sitting in my room listening to music or like reading a book and enjoying myself, enjoying my time, right? And my inner critic comes out and it's like, you know, in order to achieve your goals, you have to be working your ass off right now, and you're not doing anything. You're so not going to achieve those goals because you have to struggle to achieve anything in this life. You have to go through hell in order to achieve anything in this life. And this is basically, it's actually, you know what, I think that this is not only self-criticism, but also subconscious limits and beliefs. And just like I said previously, this all comes from childhood experience, and basically how always people around me would say that in order to achieve something, you have to work your ass off, you have to, I don't know, give up entertainment, you have to give up always resting and so on and so forth. You are not allowed to rest like ever. You're not allowed to go outside and spend time with your friends or do whatever that is enjoyable because you won't achieve your goals that way, and so on. That's why it is so hard for me. I feel pressured when I take time for myself to rest, to read a book that I've been wanting to read for so long, or to go out with my friends and spend nice time with them. And when I'm in the midst of it and I'm with them and we're talking and we're having fun, and then I'm like, oh my God, I'm wasting my time right now. Oh, I set myself those high goals and that's what I'm doing? And that self-critic is just, you know, it doesn't give you peacefully live your life. It doesn't give you permission to be in the present moment and actually enjoy your life. It's just telling you stuff that's rude. That's mean. That's so cruel to say. And you believe that. That's the worst thing, that we believe that voice, that we actually trust it, that we go and follow that voice instead of saying, no, stop it. This is going to work out for me, because I haven't set myself supernatural goals or goals that no one ever has achieved, okay? And we can just reverse all the things that inner critic has told us. We can go ahead and choose, actually consciously choose to say nice things to ourselves. We have the right to support ourselves inside. You can, in the midst of it, you can say, okay, can you hold on for a moment, and then you can just go and breathe in, breathe out, and then say, you know what, I'm fine. I'm going to achieve everything. This is already working out for me. This is like already mine. I don't have to worry about this. I work my ass off, and that is enough. I am allowed to have some rest. I am allowed to be present. I am allowed to do something that brings me joy instead of constantly working like crazy, okay, hustling all the time. Like, what is the point of achieving something that you really want if in the process of it you just get burnt out? And so on. Like, try to talk to yourself like your biggest supporter, and you're going to win. And this is it for this video, guys. I hope it helped you in any way. Thank you so much for watching it until the end, and do not forget to grab your PDF file in the description down below. And if you found this video helpful, please share it with someone you love that you know needs to hear the advice. And yeah, I will see you in the next episode of this series. Bye bye.